Emily, we have you on camera entering their cells.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you don't.
I was doing my rounds. That's my job.
That Thursday afternoon in the employee parking lot of Coastal State Prison marked the abrupt end of Emily Whitfield's career in corrections. At just 23 years old, with only 18 months on the job, she had already made decisions so reckless that even seasoned investigators struggled to understand how her conduct went undetected for so long. This is the story of how one young correctional officer threw away her future, and how the Georgia Department of Corrections failed to stop her until it was far too late. Emily Whitfield grew up in Waycross, Georgia, a small city of 14,000 in the southeastern corner of the state. Her father spent over 2 decades working for the Georgia Department of Corrections as a transport officer, and her older brother followed the same path straight out of high school. For Emily, corrections wasn't just a career choice, it was the family business. She graduated from Ware County High School in 2018 with a 2.88 GPA and no clear direction. A single semester at community college ended due to financial pressures. Emily worked at a Waffle House for 8 months and later at a distribution center loading trucks overnight. In March 2021, shortly after her 21st birthday, she applied to the Georgia Department of Corrections. Her application showed no criminal record and no red flags. Her family background provided a minor advantage, and by May 3, 2021, she was officially hired. Coastal State Prison sits on 2,400 acres of former farmland outside Savannah and houses approximately 1,400 male inmates across 5 units, ranging from minimum to close custody. Emily completed 6 weeks of basic training. Evaluations were average. She displayed adequate physical fitness, but struggled with confrontation and focus during role-playing exercises. None of these issues prevented her certification. Emily reported for her first shift on June 21, 2021, assigned to D Block, a close custody unit housing 168 inmates. The unit was considered challenging, with younger inmates, many serving their first major sentences, and contraband flowing freely despite regular shakedowns. She was one of 4 female officers on the unit. Early on, supervisors noticed Emily developing unusually close relationships with specific inmates. Her shift sergeant observed her spending excessive time at certain cells, but dismissed it as inexperience. By late August, barely 2 months into her employment, Emily's inappropriate conduct began. Inmate number 1, a 27-year-old serving 6 years for armed robbery, described her bringing extra snacks, exchanging social media handles, and sending increasingly intimate messages. By September, their interactions escalated to physical contact in isolated areas of the prison. Emily's knowledge of camera blind spots suggested a troubling awareness of how to evade surveillance. Over the next 14 months, Emily engaged in sexual relationships with 4 additional inmates, each serving lengthy sentences. Investigators later documented over 340 pages of messages, 87 photographs exchanged, and multiple incident reports by other officers who had noticed suspicious behavior but failed to escalate their concerns. By late 2022, Emily's behavior had become bold and erratic. She called in sick for several shifts, ignored supervisor attempts to contact her, and made concerning comments overheard by colleagues. A wellness check was scheduled, and finally, after prenatal vitamins appeared in her medical paperwork, a formal investigation was launched in November 2022. Interviews confirmed her misconduct, and paternity testing identified inmate number 2 as the father of her unborn child. On November 17th, Emily was confronted in the prison parking lot by investigators. Footage shows her hands shaking, mascara running, and a quiet acknowledgement. She had made mistakes. Emily Whitfield was terminated effective November 18, 2022, and marked not eligible for rehire. In December, a grand jury indicted her on multiple counts of sexual misconduct, violation of oath, and providing contraband. Defense attorneys initially claimed the relationships were consensual, but Georgia law does not allow inmates to consent to sexual activity with correctional officers, given the inherent power imbalance. On April 24, 2023, Emily pled guilty to all counts. During her sentencing in June, victims' family members delivered statements emphasizing her betrayal of trust. Judge Patricia Holloway sentenced Emily to 4 years in state custody at Pulaski State Prison, a women's facility far from her hometown, and ordered her to register as a sex offender. The court noted her conduct was reprehensible, violating the sacred duty of correctional officers to protect inmates under their care. The case prompted limited internal review at Coastal State Prison, resulting in written reprimands for 3 supervisors and reassignment of 1 shift sergeant. The Georgia Department of Corrections reinforced zero-tolerance policies and enhanced training protocols, though critics noted similar failures in past years. Emily gave birth to a daughter in February 2023, who was placed in her mother's custody. Inmate number 2 remains incarcerated, scheduled for release in 2028, and has not sought parental rights. Emily is expected to complete her sentence in 2027. This case serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unethical behavior in positions of authority and the critical importance of institutional oversight.